It's time to practice what we learned thus far. Here is an assignment for you. I got 4 tasks for you, and you find them in the app view file, which is part of the project you find attached to this assignment. Task number 1 is that you should output the main course goal you have with help of the composition API. Output it here in this h3 tag. Now, don't hard code it here into the template. Instead, hard code it somewhere in your script section here and make sure it shows up in the template. Of course, with the composition API tools you learned about in the last lectures. Task number 2 then is to manage more data and also react to an event. You should make this button work and make sure that when it's clicked, you toggle the visibility of this h3 tag. So you add and remove this h3 tag to and from the DOM with help of this button and the composition API. Now, once you finish task 2, you will be managing 2 pieces of data, most likely. The goal and some data that you need for managing the visibility of the goal. So these 2 pieces of data should then be managed in 3 different ways. Of course, comment out all the ways you're currently not using. You should manage them as separate refs, then as one ref object, and then as a reactive object. These are essentially the ways I also covered over the last lectures, and I want to make sure that you understand these different approaches and that you're able to work with all of them. It's up to you which one you prefer, but you should know them all. That's why I want you to implement task 1 and 2 essentially in all 3 ways. Well, and then it's also important to understand how the composition API relates to the options API and how it translates to the options API. So task number 4 is to essentially comment out all the composition API code you wrote and solve the assignment, tasks 1 and 2, with the options API instead. Simply so that you have that direct comparison. Have fun with that. As always, watch my solution to compare it to yours, no matter if you're stuck or not. And in my solution, I'll then walk you through these different tasks step by step.